Parts of Glory from 1957. This movie was also directed by Stanley Kubrick. So this was a bit.
War began between Germany and France on August 3rd, 1914. The German army had smashed its way to within 18 miles of Paris. A series of unexpected counterattacks drove the Germans back. Shortly afterwards, developed into a continuous line of heavily fortified trenches. By 1916, after 2 grisly years of trench warfare, the battle lines had changed very little and paid for in lives by hundreds of thousands.
Wow.
Well, I've tried to create a pleasant atmosphere in which to work.
Well, you succeeded marvelously. I wish I had your taste in carpet. I've come to see you about something big. It's top secret. It must go no further than your chief of staff and not to him. A group of armies is forming on this front for an offensive very soon. Why are you smiling?
I'm really sorry.
Smiling.
I thought for just a moment I knew what you were going to say. Please go on. About the anthill.
You are a mind reader.
Well, it is a key position.
It's
in my sector. What is the key to the whole German position in this sector?
I have formal orders to take the anthill no later than the 10th, that's the day after tomorrow.
That comes pretty close to being ridiculous, don't you think? Absolutely out of the question.
Disagree.
My division was cut to pieces. Position to even hold the anthill, let alone take it.
There's a mark.
Sorry, but that's the truth. What are you trying to say, George?
Paul, orders is that you are being considered for the 12th Corps, and with that another star. Now I've pushed it all I can. No one would question your opinion. You shouldn't let this influence your opinion, Paul.
Lives of 8,000 men. What is my reputation in comparison to that? My men come first of all, George. Know it, too.
Because I know that they do.
8,000 men.
See, the life of one of those soldiers means more to me than all the stars and decorations and honors in France.
So,
That's true.
beyond the ability of your men at this time.
I didn't say that, George.
I don't want to push you into it if you think it's ill-advised.
Don't worry, George. You couldn't do that if you tried.
Not
What
alone.
serious support can you give me?
Well, I'll see. Good that you can get along with what you have.
Might just do it.
You are the man to take the anthill.
Might do it,
As far
yeah.
as that star-
When do you say you'll see this coming off?
No later than the day after tomorrow.
Might do it.
Might. In trenches.
Ready to kill more Germans?
Yes, sir.
What's your name, soldier?
Sir, Private Farrell.
You married, Private?
No, sir.
Private. And good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
There's a guns going on.
Ready to kill more Germans?
Yes, sir.
Haha. Working
That's
over your
the
right,
question.
my best friend. You be good to it, and it'll always be good to you.
Yes, sir.
Bomb.
Well, good luck to you, soldier.
Still been one shot.
Ready to kill more Germans?
Again.
Everything all right, soldier?
No.
All right.
Probably
Good fella.
not.
Are you married, soldier?
Married?
Your wife.
A wife? Have I got a
Sir.
wife?
There is no such thing as shell shock.
Really?
I'm never going to see her again. I'm going to be killed.
Get a grip on yourself.
Okay.
You're acting like a coward.
I am a coward, sir.
Snap out of it, soldier. Put this baby out of my regiment. Contaminated by him.
Yes, sir.
Carry on, sergeant.
Please unpit forward instead forward.
Words of yours have an incalculable effect upon the morale of these men.
Bazooka. Machine gun. And this is the man I saw on the cover.
Deserve comment on the neatness, sir, but it is little.
Never got the habit of sitting. Like to be on my feet. Keep on the move.
I can vouch.
These armchair officers. Fellas trying to fight a war from behind a desk. Waving papers at the enemy. Mouse is going to run up their pants leg.
I think I take the mice every time.
You'll never make me believe that. But if he wants to be a soldier, then by heavens he's got to be one. That's my credo.
I guess you don't really have a choice. You have to buy
Imagine you'd like to look around, wouldn't you?
Yes, Colonel.
Oh, here's something to see.
binocular.
Yeah. Well, I've seen much more formidable objectives. Much worse.
And this guy dangerous.
Grabbing.
Like something to do with giving birth.
Oh, yes, quite. But we mustn't forget the colonel was perhaps the foremost criminal lawyer in all France.
29 casualties, sir.
Yes, notice it on the road in. All swarmed together like a bunch of flies, just waiting for someone to swat them.
Gang up every time. Herd instinct, I suppose.
Kind of a human sort of thing, it seems to me. Or don't you make a distinction between...
Major, would you be kind enough to excuse us for a few minutes?
Yes, sir.
You want to talk to him alone? They outdid him all.
What do you think of it? Your regiment is going to take the anthill tomorrow. Going to have to be killed. Possibly a lot of them.
Necessarily?
Bullets and shrapnel.
Support what we had.
I have none to give you.
No, just
5% killed by our own barrage. 20% more in getting through no man's land, and 20% more getting through the wire. 25% in actually taking the anthill.
Saying that more than half my men will be killed.
Yes, it's a... But we will have the anthill. All France is depending on you. I don't think I like your comparison of the flag of France to a bullfighter's cape.
I mean,
But show me a patriot and I'll show you an honest man.
Johnson had something else to say about patriot.
What do you mean nothing really? Ask a question is always important.
He was the last refuge of the scoundrels, sir. I'm sorry, I meant nothing.
It's you who are exhausted, not your men. And it's my fault. You need it badly, and you never would either. Now I'm ordering you on indefinite furlough.
General, you can't take me away from my men.
Hello.
You can't do
The
that.
commanding officer lacks confidence. What can we expect of his men? Not once have you said that your men can take the anthill.
We'll take the anthill.
And when you
그러니까
do,
yes, you have to follow the Senate order.
Corporal Paris and Private Lejeune reporting, sir. As quick as we could, sir. We had to alert the sentries.
German wire, machine gun posts, identification of bodies. We go out to the left and we come back through post 6 on the right.
10-minute intervals starting at 0400.
I wanted them every 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes is too much. He says it's certain to draw artillery. Would you mind telling us the password, sir?
Calais.
Yes, sir.
Get like
Always tell when he's had a few, he gets sarcastic. We went to school together before the war.
well,
He thinks I don't
That's
have enough
awkward.
respect for him. He's right.
Gentlemen are ready?
To our wires right out in front here. Machine guns pointing at the opening.
they're going in. Just like 1917. And then barbed wire. While the machine gun is firing, I guess they all die sadly. It seems like very risky.
I don't know.
Destroy.
We'll cover you. Move out, Lejeune.
Grenade. Someone's coming. A player.
I don't like this. Let's get out of here.
we haven't given him enough time.
How long are they going to wait?
If we wait any longer, they'll get us too. Come on. He must be dead.
Maybe throwing grenade. Is he going away? Oh, he's dead.
Surprised, Lieutenant?
Yes, I am. Happily surprised. I thought you'd been killed.
I mean, you ran like a rabbit after you killed Lejeune.
Kill Lejeune? What are you talking about? Speaking to an officer. Remember that.
Officer wouldn't do that.
He just
A
killed
man
him.
wouldn't do it. Sneaky, booze-guzzling,
No.
yellow-bellied rat. Streak of spit
That's
where a
enough,
spine
Corporal.
ought to be. You got yourself into a mess, Lieutenant.
General insubordination. Second, threatening your superior officer.
Really?
Third, charges are going to look on paper.
Now, the lives of your men through recklessness, drunk on duty, wanton murder.
You ever tried to bring charges against an officer? My word against yours. And whose word do you think they're going to believe? Whose
Corruption.
word do you think they're going to accept? All I have written in this report is that you and Lejeune were killed while out on patrol. Just to read
Okay.
that you
Kill
for all.
Lejeune, you know that, don't you?
I'm
you threw that
sorry, it was
grenade
an
and killed him.
accident that happened, and that's
Sit
the
down.
truth. What kind of a man do you think I am?
Waiting for your report, Lieutenant.
Well, I think we found out a thing or two. It's all right here in the report, sir.
Well, let's have it.
Oh, it isn't quite finished yet, sir.
Okay,
That's all.
Yes, sir.
he didn't tell him.
Machine gun fire, sir. He coughed. Almost got us all killed.
First Battalion will move out at 0530. The second wave, consisting of the 2nd and 3rd Battalions, no case later than 0540. Are there any
These
questions?
are the
Sir,
operations.
15 minutes of...
Any more than that will give them too much time to get organized.
No chance of rain or fog.
How long do we have to hold it before we can expect any support?
The attack has promised support from the 72nd by sundown tomorrow. Luck, I'm sure you'll come through as you always do.
A bayonet or a machine gun? Oh, a machine gun, naturally. Naturally, that's just my point. The machine gun is quicker, cleaner, and less painful, isn't it?
Yeah,
What is
yeah.
that of getting hurt than of getting killed?
That's true.
He's seen photos of gas cases. Doesn't mean anything to me. I hate like the devil to be without my tin hat. Because I know a wound in the head will hurt much more than one in the tail. The head is all bone. Speak for yourself. I'm most afraid of explosives. Exactly, and it's the same with me.
Explosive.
Because you know you've got to go someday, any day. And besides, if it's death that you're really afraid of.
Smart for me, Professor. All I know is nobody wants to die.
All units report themselves ready. 0-2.
After you, sir. To France.
They're getting ready. Yes, right. What a dust. The thinking. later. What chaos. Advanced time. It's in the drink gun. No B company.
Final arrest! 0+1 and they're still in the trenches. They're not advancing. They're not advancing. The barrage is getting away from them. They're still in the trenches. Order 75s to commence firing on our own positions. Fail to comprehend the meaning of my order? Fail to comprehend the meaning of my order?
No, sir. Batteries 1 and 2 commence firing on coordinates 32.
32, 58.
The battery commander reports those are our own positions.
Battery commander respectfully reports he cannot execute such an order unless it is in writing and signed by the
Execute such an order unless it is in writing and signed by the general.
Give me that phone. General Miro speaking. Refusing to advance. Fire as ordered until further notice.
You're right to order me to shoot down my own men, unless you are willing to take full and undivided...
To obey my order?
I must have a written order before I can execute such a command, sir.
You'll be in front of a firing squad tomorrow morning. That's why you'll report yourself under arrest to my headquarters.
Yeah, aggressive. Or in town.
Why are your men still in here?
Impossible, sir. Major Vignon is dead.
Get these men out of the trench! Get these men out of here! Give it another try!
All of them are falling back. Their remarks to me were very unfair, sir. It's impossible.
General, according to first reports...
Colonel Dax, report to my headquarters. Assemble a general court-martial. Have it ready to meet at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Don't face German bullets, they'll face French ones.
Yes.
Your troops refused to attack.
Make no headway.
Because they didn't try, Colonel. I saw it myself. Half of your men never left
Because the fire was so intense.
Don't quibble over fractions, Colonel. Part of your men never left their own trenches. Tried under penalty of death for cowardice.
Yeah.
Penalty of death?
For cowardice. You're milking that vein. It's about enough out of you,
I'm
Colonel.
not going to mince words and stand on
Colonel
protocol
Dax,
when
if you
the lives
continue in this manner, I shall have to place you under arrest.
Court of law would grant him all possible latitude in presenting his case.
Insubordination, another.
I am merely offering an opinion, General.
I'm sorry, sir. I certainly didn't intend to be insubordinate. Heroism these men have shown on every occasion in the past.
We're talking about the present?
But don't you see, sir? They're not cowards, because it was impossible.
They were ordered to attack. It was their duty to obey that order. The only proof of that would be their dead bodies lying in the bottom of the trenches. The scum, Colonel. The whole rotten regiment. That's exactly what I believe.
Why not shoot the entire regiment? I'm perfectly serious.
Well, now, Colonel, you're missing the point entirely.
An example you want, then take me.
Take you?
Yes, sir, if it's an example you want. One man will do as well as 100.
I was talking of 100 men. Now we're down to 12.
Paul, let's not haggle over this thing anymore.
I've always tried to be true to my principles. That's the only mistake I can ever be accused of. Select one man from each company in the first wave to the chateau at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Will that be convenient for you, General?
Oh, I won't be there, Paul. You've been hiding this man, keeping him for your own. I think that was very selfish of you.
I'm afraid there isn't much time between now and 3 o'clock.
Of course, Colonel. I shall look forward to the pleasure of seeing you again.
Ordered me to report to you here, sir. Captain Russo, battery.
Speak to you about some of your shells falling short. Report back your command until further orders.
Yes, sir.
Demoralizes the men.
I quite agree with you. The best solution is to shelve him to another outfit. Be the best discipline for him, in my opinion.
Well, perhaps you're right.
Oh, would you excuse me for a moment?
I'll join you in the dining room.
Splendid, in a moment.
Regimental headquarters in half an hour.
Yes, sir. Let's be sensible about this. This fancy talk with me, understand? I want you to drop this affair.
I beg your pardon, sir. Is that an order?
When this mess is cleaned up, I'll break you. I'll find an excuse and I'll break through the ranks. I'll ruin you. Loyalty to your commanding officer.
That guy had a problem. He's making the personal thing.
Yesterday morning failed because of an inadequate effort on the part of the 1st Battalion. One man from your company, place him under arrest. Charge is cowardice in the face of the enemy. You have your orders, gentlemen?
Lieutenant Roger killed Lejeune on that patrol and then blackmailed me into keeping quiet about the whole thing.
It has nothing to do with the charges you're being tried for. Yes, I do. But who else will? You've got no witnesses. The officer would only antagonize the court.
In my case, Captain Renoir had the sergeant draw lots. I was picked purely by chance.
I was just picked because Captain Sancy said I was a social undesirable. Me.
Right.
Gentlemen, you've all got to understand that the reason you were picked is immaterial. Stick to the stories you've told me and don't let the prosecutors shake you out of them. Superior officers, so act like what you are. Soldiers. Let it seem as if you're dropping your eyes in a hangdog manner. Look the judges in the eye, don't whine, plead, or make speeches, but make them so they can be heard all over the room. And try not to repeat yourself.
Okay.
Now, we haven't much time. The court martial
Some
begins in about
advice.
Thank you, sir.
Martial is open. The prisoners may be seated. This is a general court-martial, and we shall therefore dispense with unnecessary formality. The cowardice in the face of the enemy.
Will the prosecutor question the witnesses without even reading the indictment?
The indictment is lengthy, and there's no point in reading it.
Well, the
What?
Accused showed cowardice in the face of the enemy. Proceed, Mr.
It's not even there.
Private Farrell. Refused to advance?
No, sir.
How far did you advance?
To about the middle of no man's land, sir.
Then what did you do?
There were machine gun bullets landing all around.
Answer the question.
May sasansat you.
Saw that me and
I
Maya,
didn't ask
sir.
you what you saw. Visual experiences.
My
What?
what?
Will reply to the question.
Yes, sir. What question was it?
You go back or forward?
I went back, sir.
In other words, Private Farrell, you retreated. Accused may return.
Okay.
Just a minute.
About the reason.
President, Private Farrell, when you reached the middle of no man's land, were you alone with Private Meyer?
Yes, sir. I guess the rest of them had been killed or wounded.
You found yourself in the middle of no man's land. Why didn't you attack the anthill single-handed?
Just me and Maya. You're kidding, sir.
I don't see the point of this line of questioning.
What?
A better absurdity of the line of questioning used by the prosecutor.
But you retreated.
Yes, sir. Me and Maya both. But we came on back.
The accused may return to his seat.
Until I was ordered back to the trenches by Captain Renoir. Into the wires, sir. No, sir, it was our wire.
That you didn't advance any further than our wire? How many meters?
Well, I advanced as far as I could.
How many meters?
I mean, what do you know the exact detail?
You urge your fellow soldiers forward?
Most of them were dead or wounded before they got 3 steps beyond the trenches.
Reply to the question.
No, sir.
Why is this very close questioning? You have to hear the details and reason.
Behavior different in any respect from that of the other men in your company?
Objection. That's a matter of conjecture.
True that you've been designated a coward simply and purely because you drew a slip of paper marked X.
Yes, sir.
I don't see that that's significant. Our company advanced only a few meters. Picking by lot was eminently fair in this.
Citations for bravery that he's already earned on 2 occasions.
Okay.
Army for bravery.
It's immaterial, Colonel. The accused is not
Immaterial.
being medals and no defense.
No one in the entire regiment got anywhere near the German wire, including myself.
Well, the next accused, prisoner may return to his seat.
So you never even left the trenches?
No, sir. Major Vignon was shot, and he fell back on top of me, sir, and knocked me cold.
Conscious in the trenches during the...
He's unconscious.
No, sir. I guess everybody was too busy to notice me lying dead anyway. I have a rather large cut on my head, sir.
Could have been self-inflicted later.
What? Why don't he try that? The judges are ridiculous.
Prosecutor.
All of us witnessed the regrettable attack yesterday morning. That attack was a stain on the flag of France. Repelling. Duty falls. Gentlemen, to find the accused guilty, prescribed by the Code of Military Justice.
Would you like to make your plea?
This is it.
Times when I'm ashamed to be a member of the human race, and this is one such occasion. It allowed me a reasonable opportunity to present my case.
Are you protesting the authenticity of this court?
Stop speaking.
Yes, evidence that I consider vital to the defense. Has never been a written indictment of charges made against defendants. Test against the fact that no stenographic records of this trial have been kept. Disgrace to the fighting men of this nation. But this court-martial is such a stain. And such a disgrace, mockery of all human justice. Find these men guilty, be a crime, to haunt each of you the day you die.
I'm right. Well said.
His compassion for another can be completely dead here. Show mercy to these men.
To be escorted back to the guard room. The hearing is closed.
Trouble doesn't subside at once, the prisoner will be shot on the spot. Everything must go off without a hitch and with the least possible delay. Personally responsible for any lack of order or for any mistakes. Will pass on any blame and with interest. The session will take place at 7 o'clock, according to the verdict of the court-martial. Attention! Dismiss!
This is compliments of General Miro.
Doc, what are we supposed to eat this with our fingers?
The guard says you can't have any knives or forks.
It's supposed to be our last meal.
Great.
This duck is terrific. Think of the food.
First they poison us, then they shoot us?
I did. They put something in it.
Great.
Like what?
They're gonna make us groggy or something, and I don't want to be drunk.
How are you going to get out? Chew your way through that stone wall?
They're gonna kill us in a few hours if we don't.
Have you got an idea?
No, but there's gotta be a way.
Way.
Of our friends.
That's the 3rd Battalion. Anyway, you're not, but I am. I'll guarantee you that.
See that cockroach? It'll be dead and it'll be alive.
Evening, my sons, and Father Dupre.
Father.
Must prepare yourselves for the worst. Colonel Dax asked me to tell you so.
Mercy, no.
How much time do we have?
You have plenty of time yet. Certainly more than enough to prepare yourselves. Spiritu Sancti. Amen.
Take this letter for me, please.
Of course, my son.
It's to my wife. I tried to explain it to her. Well, Father, to tell you the truth, I'm not very religious. I feel like a hypocrite.
Now, that's an error, my son. God is always ready to listen to your prayers. Death comes to us all.
Death comes to us all. That really is deep. Your luck isn't going to hold out. Well, look, this is my religion. May I drink of you first? Thank you. Amen. Do not be afraid to ask for credit, for our way of refusing is very polite. Can you get out of here with your sanctimonious around for to torture us?
No, to help you with all my...
How you have no power? God. See what a laugh!
Yes.
Arnold!
Okay. He's have to punch that.
Nasty skull fracture, though. He may not live out the night. What are we supposed to do with him? Tie him to a stretcher so he won't slip when you tilt it vertically. Sorry, Father, the sentence will be carried out. I've already checked with the general on it. Pinch his cheeks a couple of times before you take him out on the field. It may make him open his eyes. The general wants him to be conscious.
A pretty unpleasant thing in our hands in a few hours, isn't it?
You mean the execution, sir?
Very unfortunate. That's just how I feel about it.
I had to pick somebody, sir.
Personal motive in picking Paris, did you?
Oh, no, sir.
Really?
You picked him because he was a coward, didn't you?
Yes, sir, I did.
I'm going to be in charge of the firing squad tomorrow.
Me, sir?
Yes, you. Is it too hot in here? Would you like me to open the window?
No, sir. No, sir.
Of course, you offer the men blindfolds, and, well, if they want them, you take your position with the firing squad, you raise your sword ready, draw your revolver out, you walk forward and put a bullet through each man's head.
Sir,
Yes.
I request that I be...
Request denied.
Denied.
You got the job.
That's all, Lieutenant. Yes?
It's been done.
I have something to tell you, sir, that may have a great bearing on the court-martial.
Well, Colonel, good evening. Apologize for not inviting you to join the party downstairs tonight, but I'm afraid that it's a dress affair.
Entirely a social visit.
Oh, come, Dax. Judging from the casualties, the efforts of your regiment must have been considerable.
How?
You take a rather simple view of this thing.
The general staff must have known that.
That's
Colonel
true.
Dax, that the general staff is subject to all kinds of unfair pressures from newspapers and politicians. Perhaps it was an error of judgment on our part. On the other hand, more daring, they might have taken it.
Daring, really? Right, to him to kill
A
the
good
man.
many of your men never left the trenches. There's the question of the troops' morale. Don't forget, these executions will be a perfect tonic for the entire division. Mentally encouraging and stimulating than seeing someone else die.
That's it.
Well, you see, Colonel, troops are like children. Just as a
Right.
child, one way to maintain discipline is to shoot a man now and then.
Believe all the things you've just said.
Okay.
Afraid that I better be getting back to my guests.
You disagree?
Ordered his own battery command. Opened fire on his own positions during the attack.
Yeah.
Immense firing on our own trenches.
That's crazy.
Again, we believe this fantastic story.
Here are
Yeah,
copies of the
witness.
sworn statements from all the principals involved. The Nichols, the artillery spotter, the telephone clerk, and
The charge against the condemned prisoners.
possible attack. Orders his artillery to fire on his own men. Same day. Orders a court-martial in which 3 of his men are sentenced to be shot. Politicians do with that.
Uh-oh.
Colonel Dax, are you trying to blackmail me?
Too much has happened. Someone's got to be hurt. The only question is who. His attempt to murder 3 innocent men to protect his own reputation.
Now he has a thing.
Will you pardon me, Colonel Dax?
So he might agree there.
Order, arms. Hold on.
Courage, my sons. The worst is over.
How are you today?
Not too bad. How are you?
Some good show in here last night.
What'd you have? Take a swig of this.
Had one sexual thought since the court-martial. It's pretty extraordinary.
There'll be a lot of dignitaries, newspapermen out there. You've got a wife and family. How do you want to be remembered?
I don't want to die. Please save me, Sergeant.
I can't save you. No one can now. Pull yourself together, act like a man, or we'll have to drag you out of here. In the end, it'll all be the same. It's up to you.
Execution still
Now,
going to
let's get busy.
carry out.
Farrell, take your coats off.
With the help of thy grace, no penance to amend my life. Why do I have to die for my father? I didn't do anything.
We do not question the will of God, my son.
Why did you put that in there?
Showed courage in the face of the enemy, my son.
I'm scared.
Help, man, grace. He said, this day thou shalt be with me in paradise.
Never see my wife again. I can't help it, Father. Trade me, God. Please trade me. Take care. Boy. Hey. Left. Face.
Having been found guilty of cowardice in the face of the enemy, are to be executed by rifle fire immediately.
You want a blindfold? Yes. Do you want a blindfold?
No.
Ready?
There's a lot of guns. But there was only one shot to the head.
But this one had a kind of splendor to it, don't you think?
I have never seen an affair of this sort handled any better.
That one of them will do something that will leave everyone with a bad taste. This time you couldn't ask for better. Oh, Colonel Dax, your men died very well.
Pay attention that you ordered your artillery to fire on your own men during the attack on the ante.
Picking up
I did
now.
what? Who told you that? No, that you were a disloyal officer. But I never dreamed that you would stoop to anything so low as this.
Every commander who refused your order.
I think it's infamous. Absolutely infamous.
Infamous.
Then there's no truth at all in the charge made by Colonel. There'll have to be an inquiry.
An inquiry?
But it won't amount to much. Those things never do. The public forgets. Such violent insinuations against your character to go undenied.
For making me the goat. The only completely innocent man in this whole affair.
Really?
And you stabbed in the back is a soldier.
Well, hard to have fools guiding our military destiny. How would you like General Miro's job?
You're offering me General Miro's command?
Come, Colonel Dax. Job from the start. We all know that, my boy.
Dear boy.
Well, I certainly didn't mean to imply any biological relationship. Exactly. It would be a pity to lose your promotion before you get it. A promotion you have so very carefully planned for.
Do with that promotion.
Colonel Dax! You will apologize at once, or I shall be placed under arrest.
Apologize for not revealing my true feeling. You're a degenerate, sadistic old man.
And you can go to hell before I apologize to you. You're an idealist. And I pity you, as I would the village idiot. We're fighting a war, Dax, a war that we've got to win. We bring charges against General Miro, so I insist that he answer them. Wherein have I done wrong?
I mean, he killed those three men.
You don't know the answer to that question. Pity you.
We have a little special entertainment for you. A little diversion, as it were. And it's what is life without a little diversion? Acquisition from the enemy. Germany.
I'm excited.
A little pearl washed ashore by the tide of war. Sagt den Herrschaften guten Tag. Guten Tag. Oh, the little lady has her limitations. Absolutely no talent at all. Except that is, well, natural talent.
This guy.
The lady can't dance. She can't tell any jokes and sing like a bird. She has a throat of gold. Sing us a song.
Top yelling bandages.
Die Botschaft brach im Sterben lag.
Captured all intention.
Hab und wir all sein, hab und Mutter, bring all sie ist nicht.
Sing along.
Das ganze Jahr.
Okay.
Dieses Jahr.
Seems like an antenna.
We have orders to move back to the front immediately.
Well, give the men a few minutes more, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Something. That's another really good movie. Because he then they shot those 3 men like coward in war. Doesn't make sense at all. I mean, they are participating in war. So this movie will be available in Petra. This like a World War I film. Where